Hey guys, welcome to the channel and another video. Today I'm going to be watching Young Frankenstein by Mel Brooks starring Gene Wilder. As you might already know, I have watched another Mel Brooks film on the channel before, Blazing Saddles. That too with Gene Wilder. I really enjoyed Brooks's sense of humor and Wilder was great in it too. I also loved his performance in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, also on the channel. So do check those videos out if you haven't yet. About Young Frankenstein, I vaguely knew about the film before, but I don't know too much about the Frankenstein lore, except the fact that Dr. Frankenstein creates and reanimates a dead human who's called Frankenstein's monster. I also know that the film was intentionally shot in black and white in the 70s, which was rare. All I expect from this film is Brooks's unique comedy style and an adaptation of the Frankenstein story. But before we get into it, to help support the channel, I have a Patreon page for full-length reactions to over 70 movies, early access and weekly polls for what to watch next. You'll need your own copy to watch along. The link's in the description below, by the way. Please consider being a patron. Please subscribe to the channel. Do check out my other videos. Like if you liked this video, dislike it if you didn't. With all that being said, let's get started. Young Frankenstein, Brooks, Wilder, let's go. Young Frankenstein. Can't believe they're shooting in black and white in the 70s. Just like the other Gene Wilder film I've seen, the credits are at the beginning and probably not at the end, which is not a bad idea if you think about it. I think Mel Brooks is intentionally going for an old school look, inspired by the early Frankenstein films. Oh, the story was by Gene Wilder and Mel Brooks. And I can see the music is inspired by those old Frankenstein films or old horror films. Baron von Frankenstein. Okay, so I'm guessing one of the Frankensteins is dead. That's an old school transition.
I have one question, Dr. Frankenstein.
Oh.
That's Frankenstein.
But aren't you the grandson of the famous Dr. Victor Frankenstein?
Yes, we all know what he did.
It's his grandson.
Would you raise your left knee? You have just witnessed a voluntary nerve impulse.
That's actually accurate.
What if we block the nerve impulse by simply applying local pressure, which can be done with any ordinary metal clamp, just at the swelling on the posterior nerve roots? Why, you mother-grabbing bastard! Because once a nerve fiber is severed, there is no way in heaven or on earth to regenerate life back into it.
That was a direct contradiction to what he's probably going to do.
Your grandfather's work, sir. The reanimation of dead tissue. But as a Frankenstein, aren't you the least bit curious about it?
Dead is dead.
But what about your grandfather's work, sir?
My grandfather's work was doo-doo! The only thing that concerns me is the preservation of life!
That's why he's a doctor.
Class is dismissed.
Holy crap.
I have traveled 5,000 miles to bring you the will of your great-grandfather.
Another old school transition.
Darling, so will I.
Not on the lips.
What?
I'm going to that party at Nana and Nikki's later. I don't want to smear my lipstick.
She seems a bit stuck up.
Ah, the nails! Oh.
Goodbye, darling.
Yeah, I'm not convinced she loves him.
Transylvania next!
Transylvania. And one thing I noticed with Mel Brooks films, they're mostly shot on sets.
Dr. Frankenstein.
It isn't. It's Frederick Frankenstein. You must be Igor.
No, it's pronounced Igor.
Oh, perhaps I could help you with that hump.
What hump?
Awkward.
Allow me, master.
Oh, thanks very much.
This way.
Would you like to have a roll in the hay? It's fun.
Inga's beautiful.
Werewolf?
There.
Werewolf.
There it is.
I am Frau Blucher.
Frau Blucher.
Inga, may I present Frau Blucher?
Every time her name is said, the horses react for some reason.
Blucher.
This is a very nice, well-made set.
And where is my grandfather's private library?
I don't know what you mean, sir. This is the only library I know of, Dr. Frankenstein.
Frankenstein. Well,
Very steady camera work by Brooks.
Good night, darling.
Oh, they used to be in a relationship.
For me, destiny, destiny, no escape.
What a weird nightmare.
what's that strange music?
I have no idea.
It's coming from behind this wall. Hand me that candle, will you?
Ouch.
Put the candle back.
And looks like this place hasn't been visited for a while. Mel Brooks is actually taking a lot of time in introducing the story. Decent props, I'd say. Not very convincing, but it's...
I ain't got no body.
That was a surprise.
Dim your eyes. Too late.
This explains the music.
Look at this.
How I Did It by Victor Frankenstein. Could it be more obvious?
As the minuteness of the parts formed a great hindrance to my speed, I resolved, therefore, to make the creature of a gigantic stature.
You would have an enormous Schwanzstücke.
I think I know what that means.
This.
That's an old school Frankenstein drawing.
This might be our man.
I'm Constable Henry, sir. Pleased to meet you.
How very nice to meet you.
Shaking hands with a dead man.
All we need now is an equally magnificent brain.
Brain depository? Oh, Brooks. The stuff you come up with. Scientist insane. He's gonna take the normal brain. Do not use this brain. Oh, that's Peter Boyle, and I think they're already done with the brain transplant.
All right, good.
And I love how he just ignores it every time.
Can you imagine the brain of Hans Delbruck in this body?
Oh, he still thinks it's the brain of that scientist.
Get ready!
Give my creation life!
The contrast between this dark, ominous music and the comedy is really working better than I thought it would.
It teaches us to accept our failures as well as our successes with quiet dignity and grace.
Okay, I thought for a second he's going to.
Son of a bitch bastard, I'll get you for this! What did you do to me?
Quiet dignity and grace.
Another fourth wall break.
Yes?
He's a Frankenstein!
Oh, it's the townspeople. They're not happy that Frankenstein's here.
I think before we go around killing people, we had better make dance here. Following in his grandfather's footsteps.
Even his own townspeople don't understand him. Thank goodness I have subtitles.
You haven't even touched your food.
There. Alive. It's alive.
It's alive.
It's alive.
Classic.
What is it? What's the matter?
Okay, it's scared of fire.
Little bird, zip, zap, zap.
Seda.
Ta-da!
Whose brain I did put in?
Abby normal.
You're telling me!
He said he wouldn't get angry.
What? Three syllables, yes.
Mel Brooks is really good at redoing his previous gags we've seen in the film. And that was perfect.
Monsters!
Genes and chromosomes. That you have no interest whatsoever in carrying on your grandfather's work.
I'm going to set you free.
Stop!
Don't come closer! Then it was you all the time!
Yes!
He's free and roaming the village, I assume.
You don't know what your visit means to me. How long I've waited for the pleasure of another human being. Sometimes in our preoccupation with worldly matters.
And the monster can feel pain.
Long friendship.
Poor monster, I feel bad for him now.
Cigars.
No matter what you hear in there, no matter how cruelly I beg you, not open this door.
Nice working with you.
Iger's just so quick on his feet.
Jesus Christ, get me out of here! Mommy!
Mommy.
People hate you, but why do they hate you? Because they are jealous!
He almost sounds convincing.
This is a nice boy. This is a good boy.
This is a wonderful set.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I present the creature? Please, backwards! May I now present a cultured, sophisticated man about town. If you're blue and you don't know where to go to, why don't you go where fashion is?
They're doing a musical. And he's trying to speak. Oh no! He hates sparks and fires. And the crowd is turning on him. I wonder whatever happened to the fiancée of Frederick Frankenstein.
If I could find a way to equalize the imbalance in his cerebral spinal fluid, why, he'd be as right as rain.
Some way I could give you a little peace.
Your fiancé will be arriving in a second.
Oh no, the fiancé is coming.
Love me?
Love you?
That was a question.
Well,
And I think that it is just about time that we had one!
he's broken loose.
Would you want me like this now?
Glory, glory, hallelujah.
What do you want? What are you going to do to me? Oh my God. Woof. I'm engaged, and once he took, but I didn't. It was. Story of life, I found you.
She likes it. A heart transition with them smoking after making love. That's actually a very beautiful violin piece.
Are you sure you want to go through with this?
It's the only thing that can save him now.
They're using him as a battering ram. I thought the inspector would have a more antagonistic role, but no, it's just a small role.
Put that man down! I said put that man down!
It's speaking.
I live because this poor, half-crazed genius has given me life. He used his own body as a guinea pig to give me a calmer brain.
And the mob's gone. And he's fine. And he got married to his assistant.
Honey, I hope you didn't find Daddy's little party too boring. I mean, he did it just for you, and he meant so well. Say you liked it.
He's reading the Wall Street Journal.
The monster got part of your wonderful brain. But what did you ever get from him?
The little boy in me is just...
I don't believe it.
At last I found you.
The same song the fiance was singing when he got with the monster. So I can safely assume what he got from the transference. That was a really, really funny film, guys. And that was Gene Hackman. Okay, I took some time to collect my thoughts. First off, that was a really funny movie. I would say Blazing Saddles was a little funnier because of the sheer number of jokes and the social commentary, but this movie isn't far behind by any means. I expected a straight-up modern adaptation of the Frankenstein story, and I'm glad to be mistaken. This was more of an original plot and the story of Frankenstein's grandson who continues his family's work. I would consider the strengths of the film to be the writing, the directing, score, the performances of Wilder, Boyle, and Feldman, whereas the weaknesses might be the overuse of old-style transitions or the general sketch structure of the story, because it did feel a little disjointed at times. Let's start with the directing by Mel Brooks and the writing by him and Gene Wilder. The story was intentionally kept simple to focus on the comedy, which is fine in my books. I loved the little details in the film, like everyone having a different accent for some reason, even in that small town. The fact that Igor's hunch keeps changing. I suspect he wasn't hunchbacked at all. I also love the running gags, like Frankenstein's name being pronounced Frankenstein, or the fact that the creature hates fire. Most of the characters were very interesting too. The writer spent a lot of time in the first act to establish the story and these characters, as the monster wasn't introduced till the second act of the film. Speaking of the monster, he was played by Peter Boyle, who I recognize from Everybody Loves Raymond. I only watched a couple of episodes, by the way. He was really good in his role. He intentionally wasn't convincing at all, and the movie was better off for it. I love the twist at the end. of how he literally became an intellectual and got married and settled down somewhere in the US. That was hilarious. Another thing I noticed is Brooks' frequent use of the fourth wall break. He did that in Blazing Saddles too. He times these so well that it almost feels like he's talking to us directly, the audience. Great stuff here. Frederick Frankenstein was played by Gene Wilder, Frankenstein. He's an enigma of an actor. It's almost impossible to tell when he's being serious and when he's just goofing around. There's a lot of credit to in Brooks' directing here too. The ability is rare, and I appreciate that a lot. There were moments in the film, like when he was reanimating the dead, or he declared himself to be Frankenstein, that were genuinely amazing monologues, and they were shot pretty well too. There were also times where he's just a complete goofball. I want to see more of Wilder, so please recommend me some of his best work apart from the 3 films I've already watched on the channel. Igor was played by Marty Feldman. He probably had the standout performance in the movie for me. I recognized his face, but not his name. As far as I know, he was a famous British comedian at the time, and he was known for his unique eyes. His physical performance was what really kept the plot moving forward for me. The character's mistake of bringing Frankenstein the wrong brain is actually what sets up the entire story. So he's a very, very important character to the film. Again, I would like to see more of his work too, if you recommend some. The music in the film was clearly inspired by the horror films of the 30s and 40s. It was used very appropriately. I very much enjoyed the violin piece that played repeatedly during the film to lure the creature. The actual sound design was very primitive, and the sounds of thunder were hilariously overused too. Brilliant work in this department overall. The set designs were actually better than the costume and makeup in the film. I love Brooks' sets. He keeps them simple and to the point. No unnecessary crap here whatsoever. The makeup on the creature was a little unconvincing and pretty average, with his bald cap being clearly visible in several scenes. If they were done for comedic effect, then it's brilliant, but I really couldn't tell, so please fill me up in this regard. About criticisms, I've already mentioned them before. The transitions were very creative, but it might have been a little overused, and this leads me to the sketch style structure of the film. Although it worked here somewhat, maybe instead of separate sketch style scenes, Brooks could have used less transitions to make the film freer flowing and more coherent. Again, that's just one person's opinion. Overall, I absolutely loved this movie. Mel Brooks is a genius, as I've mentioned before. Gene Wilder, Peter Boyle, and Marty Feldman were just great in their roles, and I see why this film is considered a classic. It definitely deserves the title. I would love it if you guys recommend me some more of Mel Brooks, because he's becoming one of my favorite comedy directors. This film is an easy recommendation for anybody and everybody. Anyways, thank you for watching. I have a Patreon page. Consider being a patron. The link's in the description below. Subscribe to the channel. Do check out my other videos. Like if you liked this video, dislike it if you didn't. I will see you in the next one. Bye.